Okay, so it's 5 o'clock on payday, and I just got my third cup of tea just because I just wanted to. So I've already been doing all my bills and stuff, and I don't know. I feel kind of like I don't know. Lately, I've just been feeling like super excited. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Um, I just is like I don't know, intense. Oh my gosh. And the dream stuff. It is so crazy. Is yesterday I was doing something. It is weird, man. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. Because I was doing something, and then all of a sudden I had this flash of holding this heart. I was like, what the hell? And then I was like, oh yeah, that was in that dream. What was going on in that dream? And then it made me start thinking about that, but I'm having such a merge between reality and dreams. Like, it's just one big fucking dream. Like, this is a big fucking dream. And it's so weird, is it's like we're slowed down in this energy, and it's like the people who are in it don't know they're in it. And you try and tell them, and they think you're crazy. And what is wacky to me, I had no idea it was going this direction, so hold on. But this is true, because I was thinking about those, is what is wacky to me is all the different perspectives on life going on, and especially religion. And it brings up a lot, when you have somebody in your family dying, which I also want to say about this, because Crystal was talking, and we all go through all different things, and that's our life experience. And it made me, when we were talking though, it was like, we have not had any slow, drawn out deaths in our life, in my life. The only one that was kind of, but it wasn't like she was sick, was my grandma after her stroke. She couldn't live by herself, and so she lived with us for a while. And I think that's when my mom and dad were kind of getting to the end. And so I think then she went to go live with my aunt and my uncle, and I think she stayed there till she died. But yeah, 100%. It seems like she was in a nursing home though at some point, and I was anti-nursing. I'm still anti-nursing homes. That's the place you take, when you don't have time for your old people. You just take them there, and they'll get rid of them for you. It's like these motherfucking dog shelters. That's what it is. The nursing home is motherfucking the same kind of thing. It's just like, yeah, you don't want, and they're just doing them in right and left now. Because it's just, they're a burden to society. They're old. They're not giving back, As in this system. I'm not saying in humanity. I mean, humans don't have much humanity at this point. But when it flickers on and they start feeling the humanity inside of them, then yeah, our world, we would not just be sticking our old people in, facilities and leaving them to die and decay and lonely and I don't know, they sit in their own little diapers. Nobody has time for them. Doctors in there testing them, just drugging them up. It's outrageous. I think I just told about the one story, having the honey get on there, their hairs get stuck to it. The EMT that was talking about that they were transporting someone to get an MRI from one of those places, and they could tell the person was needing emergency care, and the place wouldn't do anything. They just let them die. And this person was saying this is the second patient that they know of that this nurse had done that to. So there's ones that just don't give a shit, and who knows, they could be getting bonuses from the top for got rid of another one, good. Clear space. That's all they do in the shelters. Clear the space. You want to test on them? You want to, because they don't matter. They're subhuman. Yeah, trying to get people to consider animals as having souls is a real stretch, man. As I was talking about something like about that yesterday, and just being like, it's really wacky. But, like my brother, like, it'd be sad when he goes, but we also have had this build up of like, he could possibly leave. He could possibly leave at any time. And then I also have this weird, strange perspective on life. But I was saying, it's so weird and it sounds so mean, but having your day to day, your pets and stuff, who's with you on the day to day, that is a loss. And that is where your heart is ripped out. To me, it's like, and he has his day to day. You know, he's got people in his day to day, and their hearts are going to be ripped out. And you know, to me, it has a lot to do with, you know, what we're here to experience, and but you know, some families have, you know, cancer and lost sickness and people needing a lot of care and stuff, but yeah, that hasn't been in my family so far. It's been like, you know, they just didn't wake up, they just died, or they got killed in a tragic accident or something, has been so far in mine. But I know there's families that have a lot in it, but all those are lessons. It's a big difference between a sudden loss and one that has got all this, because it makes you have to think about, like, you know, the whole thing. Hold on, let me drink a little of this. But I was thinking that you know, when Stella goes, I probably won't even be able to talk. When my brother goes, I'll probably just start talking to him more than what I talk to him now. Honestly, I'll probably feel his presence more around me than I have felt in a long time. And I had a great relationship with him until 2020 when everything went south. But I mean, especially after he had brain surgery and stuff, he just people like get their feelings hurt and take things wrong, which is just so funny because I just run across this stuff all the time now, and it's so funny because people will say things and they'll tell you and then people will be, well, you just did that. Well, you just did. And it's so easy. Things can turn into pointing fingers at each other because each person has their feelings hurt. If we just stop and deal with our feelings being hurt and not blame anybody else and try and understand our feelings and why we feel the way we feel, then we're a lot more productive. It gets us nowhere to sit and argue with each other. All we do is hurt each other and hurt each other's feelings and make each other feel bad. And there's so much about hurting each other's feelings. It's so crazy. And people misinterpret things you say. They hear what they hear, and they don't always hear what you're saying. And so it's, you know, it's just kind of one of those phenomena or something that has to do, when you go deeper into it, to me, it's just like, it makes sense when you think about everybody's here to learn about themselves and go through these experiences. And, and sometimes we all go through a joint experience. And I don't know, I guess maybe that is the part where I kind of see deeper into it, because I see like the roles and people's reactions and stuff. And I don't know, I am definitely kind of resentful or whatever. It's not like resentful, like angry or whatever. I mean, my brother's life is his life. It makes me sad, resentful, like, you know, you could do more, you know. But then when it's just like I'm just the nutcase of the family, then it's just kind of like it just makes you see, you know, like people don't value what you have to say or something, and then that you have that added thing where it's just like, this is just frustrating. So, but then I also understand, you know, because I would like to try the patches on Stella, but then on the stuff where it says the dogs can have seizures, and it's like, fuck, man, because some of this stuff is also new. And you know, when we're having guests, which yesterday I realized something. I was standing over there, and so zinc, you have to take Curserin, and they need each other to work. And so the Curserin I got is a bulk powder that I put in the tea, and it tastes pretty good. I can tell when it's in there, it tastes good. And so it's kind of a weird powder because it's a little bit translucent. Like when you get it on something, you can keep seeing something stay. But it's a pretty kind of color. I don't know, it's a different kind of color. But anyways, and I always put like 2 little things in it, and it'll take a zinc. And which, so yesterday I'm standing there waiting for my water to boil, and I'm going to start reading the thing. It says 2/5 of a teaspoon. Use 2/5 of a teaspoon. It's like, what the fuck? I'm just overdosing on some of this shit. And then you're not supposed to take more than 1 zinc either. So, anyways, I've been, overdoing the juicer, and that's for sure. So I'm going down to a little tiny bit. I mean, unless I don't see it right. I don't think it says 2 to, it says 2/5. That's 2/5, which I thought, what a strange measurement. Like 2/5? Like, I don't know. Why not? I don't know. It seems like that they could do it different, but maybe that is the only way to do it. It's 2/5 of it. I don't know. It just seemed weird. But anyway, maybe that is, I don't know, maybe I can't see it good or something, but it just seemed weird. It seemed like such a small amount. And then you're not supposed to take too much zinc either. And I think also selenium, check on that. I think moringa, magnesium, some of this stuff I think you can take as much as you want. But watch out. But I still say that whole chlorine, that whole little mishap, did something to me. It definitely did something to me that was positive, because it still is so dried up in here, but I haven't had any big coughing, which I know that I need to cough because you got to cough out all these infiltrates. But I was constant. Now I'm clearing my throat all the time, but I coughed a lot more. And then I would think, well, maybe the smoking adds to it or something, or is it just all this gunk over here, whatever's in the sky, whatever's in my house, whatever. And so, I don't know. It's just like I just had the allergies for fucking years. And so, now that I had that big blast of that stuff, and what trips me out is it says on there that it wipes out fungi, which makes me think that is probably what I was full of. And my body kept trying to cough it out, because I still smoke, and I'm not having any coughing like that at all. And especially so rattly. And like every once in a while, like I might cough, maybe once in the morning or something. But I drink all this Mullen tea, and I don't even know if I coughed at all yesterday. So there's something definitely happened, because it dried stuff up, and it cleared something up in my lungs. And I don't know, because I don't know, like, even if it has a half-life, if it has active, if it keeps going, which, one thing, okay, let me get in this swig, hold on. Because, speaking of death, so, my daughter had started talking to me, right? And so there was a tragedy in that family during the period of time when nobody was talking to me, and from that family. And so it's so funny. It's like how nobody said anything to me about this guy dying, which when I was married, he would have been my nephew. And that whole family, that's the thing, is with my daughters, that whole family all bought into all the stuff in 2020, hook, line, and sinker, and they all were getting all the things that were offered. And I have tons and tons and tons of feelings or perspectives about it. I mean, it definitely, made me really see kind of, and I don't know if it was just this that made me see it, but I could see it, how much when people don't have a spiritual concept of existence, that it changes like their actions or something. And so there's a lot of fear, because to me, death is just a transition. It's just leaving this storyline, for one thing, because it's not even like, you just leave the storyline. And so it's not really anything. It's tragic to the people who are left, but it's part of their healing, what they came here to deal with or heal from or whatever. It's part of their destined path to deal with those things of how they come and go in our life. And so So, anyways, but there's a lot of people who just don't believe anything spiritually. They just think, you just are some weird freak accident and then you die and that's it. You're gone. It's like, that has always tripped me out. I've always been like, don't you feel something alive? And then I'm always like, who the fuck? Like, what did they do with their brain? Like, I'm always talking to the universal consciousness or myself or whatever the fuck it is. And I was like, what are these people's concept of existence? It's so trippy and it's so limiting and it's so scary. And I mean, if you've got nothing you believe in, find something to believe in. It's gonna find peace, And if you're wrong or you're right, and this is where it gets trippy, is because I feel so much in my heart that I'm right, and this is stuff that I've been knowing since I was a kid, and I'm seeing truth play out, and it's confirmation to me, and so to me, it's like I feel like I know the truth from my inside out, I express it. So I'm putting it out there, but it's my inner knowing, my inner truth. It's not like I question reality, like in that way of like, why are we here and what happens when we go and stuff. And so man, this is a lot to try and so hold on a second. It's like this. Hold on. So see, that is like that's not even a cough, really. It's just like a deep clearing of the throat. All that powder, I just took a big swig and all that powder went down in my throat. I had a tissue. I mean, I had a handkerchief sitting here in one of my pockets. That is the shenanigan weird shit going on. I swear to God. Oh, it's between my legs. It's like, it just fucking disappeared. It's right here. It's right between my legs. Okay, so, anyways, to me, so I feel a peace with that. And like yesterday, I had a conversation with somebody, and then it was, well, the Bible says this, and so this is what it is. And it is like, so I just listen. I'm not going to argue or tell anybody they're wrong or whatever. But I was just thinking the difference of it. Like go into the reference to me is my internal guidance, my internal communication. And it's not outside of me. Like, I don't have to go to the book, because then they're like, I'm pretty sure in chapter blah, blah, blah. Oh, because we were talking about the death of animals. And some people don't believe they have souls and stuff like that. So it was like, well, the book says. And to me, it's like, well, my internal spirit says, and these are souls. These aren't like below us. Everything that is alive has a soul. It's not like that we're all going to different places. It's just like, it's like, yeah, it's like the sky full of stars, and all the stars are a little bit different shape and color and stuff. That's all it is. It's like, you aren't this. You're the light inside. You're the light bulb that comes on inside. You can see when someone's lights go out and they leave. And I just saw somebody, a spiritual person, talking about, or an energy person, I don't know. But they were talking about, Archie, what are you doing? He's already gone out and gone to the bathroom. So, they were saying something about, people think that their body is who they are, but it's your energy. But your energy far exceeds your body. So you're limiting yourself to only see yourself as your body, because your energy is way out here and you can interact. And I just saw another thing where they had the camera, they had the x-ray machine going, the MRI machine or whatever. And then they had these men around, let's just call them shamans or something. They weren't doctors. They were more healers. And they were doing something. Was it vibration? Was it humming? Was it a tuning fork? Was it a bell? I can't remember. But they were around this person, and they were doing something to make their energy bigger or something, so that they could heal this person. I can't remember the whole thing, but that it works. It started doing something to the tumor. And so that's going to be the part where we start seeing ourselves as like superhero and stuff, because we've been not created to live in limitation. We've been created to live big, but that we've been manipulated to live in limitation, to go follow the concept of the flesh and blood, the image you see in the mirror. And what was that? That was something that was trippy yesterday. I saw there was something about the image in the mirror, and dang, I don't know, I'll see if it comes to me. It's always like when you go in to keep communication with the deeper mind, you're always getting like fascinating, far out insights and conversations. I mean, those conversations are interesting to me, but I know, some people are interested in more shallow things, but I swear to God, it's because they haven't seen the depth. They're just trying to survive. And right now, I think the energy on the planet, when you're real phony and fake, is going to be super uncomfortable. It's going to be, because it's to push you to be more direct, to be more authentic, to be more yourself. And then when you don't know who that is, it's to find out, to follow the journey, to quit with this character that you created for this this performance, for this stage show or whatever. It's a costume changing. You get to become the character that you feel inside of you that you are. And then a lot of people aren't connected to who they are inside. They're so busy looking outside. And so a lot of the awakening to me has to do with going with an internal vision. But it really trips me out is because the stuff I talk about spiritually and where we're from and what we're doing here and what we do, and what souls are and stuff like that. That to me is my truth, is what I see. It's how I perceive. And it's not, somebody told me. It's my own perception, and I've had it. So I don't know. It just is. I don't know. We're going to see as things play out. The truth will come out, and the truth about this mystical, magical world that we live in is a big part of it. And I do see it as once we start realizing like our energy is outside of us and we stop focusing on this will start to be represented with what is inside. So I think, when people start watering the beauty inside, the beauty is going to shine on the outside. I think a lot of people who are more, and I'm not going to just say rotten, but troubled on the inside, are going to really start representing it on the outside. Like people, that's like the concept of the demon face or something. People are going to really start showing their inner darkness on the outside. They're going to start looking more decrepit or more older or more angry or more lost. So whatever it is going to be shining out more, and they're not going to be able to hide it. And everything, the universe gives you opportunity to look at yourself, but a lot of souls or people or whatever has resistance. They don't want to look at themselves. And so the more that they resist, the more it's going to express themselves as that of bitterness, that of anger, that of sadness, whatever. And so, I kind of see like a Twilight Zone episode or something, and how, I don't know, they had a lot of things about concepts or whatever, like you can take something that most of us would think is like, oh, that's not attractive, but you put the room full of all of them that look like that, and one person who looks like you, then these are more attractive because they're all looking at each other. They like this, but you're a weird looking thing. So it's the same no matter what. It's not like, we are the humans, and it's so funny too, because it's just like a created spacesuit thing for this realm. It's like not real, and what it looks like has to do with what you're here to learn or work on. It has to do with your DNA, the way it expresses itself and stuff, which Crystal too, the curly hair. See, my one of my kids had super curly hair like that in high school, and people always thought she was some kind of a mix or something. It's funny how people, when they see that really curly hair, that everybody thinks like, in hers, when she started growing hair longer, she's cut it more, even though I haven't seen her now in a while, but I'll see her soon, I think, is the curl started coming back into it. But when it got longer, it just became more wavy. But when she was younger, it was very curly in her teenage years. And I also had a sister that happened to. But I don't know, I heard it had something to do with hormone fluctuations and stuff, like how curly her hair can be. But people automatically think, well, it's got to come from a black person. It's like, but it is kind of weird, that people are that brazen or bold. Even if you're looking at somebody from across the room and you're studying their face and you're thinking, I wonder what all of their stuff that made their face look like this, where do they come from, what is their heredity or their lineage or whatever. And I don't know, I don't know, it seems kind of strange to just ask people, but then also it's also kind of inquisitive, and we want to be inquisitive and interested. So everything is gray, there is no wrong or right or whatever, and it is much more about how something makes you feel, and then kind of your reaction to how you feel is what you will be, what you're going to look at more too. It is like you look at yourself in the stuff. So, and all these things play out so that you get to see, what if this happened, and you get to see yourself, well, this is what I would do. And then it's the craziest thing, though, is that what you do is normally not what you would do the second time. And so you learn to change from the things that you do. So that right there, I think, is pretty well shows you that you're here to learn. Because then when you learn something, you do something different. You take a different turn. And so the process or the development through life, and you see, when you understand, like, you're a soul and how your soul's journey helps you to grow. To me, I don't know, it just trips me out how there's so many people who don't understand you have a soul, and don't understand that your soul is your real part of you. And that's the part that is never dies. It goes on and goes and does all sorts of stuff. It can go experience whatever the hell it wants to experience. It can just, like, kind of like Sonic does it. I think Harry Potter, I don't know what all, because I don't watch a lot of those like fantasy things, but I know it's a thing lately with the ring, throw the ring and it makes a portal. And but really, just me speaking about something makes a portal. So it's an opening to the mind. It's a putting, look over there, you didn't see that before, did you? Which is so trippy when you start realizing, because there was something that I don't remember what it was, but it had been there. And then but then once you draw attention to it, it's like, oh my God, I didn't even notice that. It's the weirdest thing. So anyways, so it's kind of like any kind of experience that you create is the portal, is the opening. And so we open portals really all the time. It's the micro macro, it's the expression of the portals opening more in a physical or something. But anyways, but we have portals around here that take you to other worlds and stuff, but we don't need so much, I mean, you can talk to lucid dreamers or astral projectors, which I just saw this guy yesterday, and he was a astral projector, I think, but he does it with DMT or something, and he's starting this whole thing, and he has got all this stuff going, and he is going into these other realms and talking to all these other beings, and they're telling him stuff. It's like, dude, you can just go in telepathy. Like, you can just go and talk to them. Like, I don't know. That seems scary. You know, what the thing about it is, because there's people who go and do these drugs that go into a darker space. They go into stuff that's like a nightmare. It's like, you know, I don't know. And to me, down here, it's like going into the dark forest naked or something, you know? I don't know. It just seems like, you know, we have these spacesuits down here for a reason, to kind of protect us or something, because it is, I don't know, there's something to, you know, we get birthed into this vibration, we come through this thing that becomes real to us, but it also, you know, when I came out of my body and I saw, you know, that I am the thing, I'm the feeling. What you feel about you is who you are. And so I'm the thing. When you look and you see your body's still laying there and you're way over here, it's like, well, what the hell is that thing? What does it do for me? It is just, it's not like what we think it is. It's like to give us a mirror image. It's to get us to be able to see what we're here to work on, or see ourselves or something. It's more than that. But it also, in this vibration, it seems to me that it gives us some sort of protection. Because definitely when I came out of mine and I look back and I saw my body, it just sucked me back in. It was like, oh my God, I'm out of my body. And it sucked me back in. And when I've come out of it before, like I was doing stretches and I pushed out beyond my body, and I was like, oh shit, that feels so weird. And it feels like you're just open space. It's just like there's nothing around you. And I mean, some people like that, I guess, and they want to go out. But to me, I don't know. It's one thing when we're up in a higher vibration plane and we're zipping around in our soul. But down here, it is, I don't know, it seems risky to me. So, I mean, you can follow along with any things that people do, like, but I also, that astral projector guy who did it all the time, who was doing videos trying to tell people how to do it, and he said that he got taken by these men in black people who took him. It was like government people, which I know that's another thing, is they're policing that. And not only that, there's supposedly these archangels and Ashtar, there's a whole policing of these other realms. So, I don't know. To me, you can talk to them, just start talking to them. And you can talk to them. You don't have to go do some drug and go do it like that. And I don't know, are you going out of your body and you're going to go into where they are or something? Jesus Christ. And then with all the tricksters and shit, you get out there and then you're going to get bound out there in some other fucking, I don't know. You be trapped with like being in a black box or something. I don't know. Everybody's here to experience what they're here to experience, but in my perspective, that's risky. Like, don't just jump onto all this stuff. But this guy is, you know, he's got, like he said, he's got government officials and stuff coming, and this whole thing's about to take off. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel like you got to go do some, I don't even think you got to do peyote or something. Like, I was 3 years old. I wasn't doing drugs. You just gotta listen. I don't know. But so maybe there's so much noise in their mind they don't know how to focus it. But that's a part of the spiritual plan of learning how to focus the mind, learning how to control it. Don't let it control you. You control it, which has to do with following, you know, your impulses and what makes you happy and what doesn't make you happy and how to find peace and all of that stuff. It's all a part of it. And you do have communication all the time. You have guides, you have your higher self, you have your relatives around you talking to you, you have old friends that show up, you got all sorts of shit going on. So, I mean, I think just work on having your awareness of what's real around you. And I'm pretty sure I'm not mentally ill. Like, pretty sure this is real. I hear people, you know, I mean, there's all sorts of mediums and stuff. Like, if I was just a crazy person, how could there be so much confirmation? So, there's a world right outside of you. You just have the light on this one, and so you're focused on this one. But there's a whole gathering around you. And you can take time to close your eyes out of this one and communicate in this one. And then and then once you really get into your communication, you just bounce through it. It's like, I hear the communication internal louder than I do with the external. Like, it takes me more concentration to pay attention to people talking, which I think that probably is a part of like where there's some with the autism or the neurodivergent or whatever, the different kind of states of consciousness. And I'm sure some of them are probably really, you know, out in a different state of consciousness. They're out talking into other beings. They're not just lost. They're just in a different brainwave. And then it's harder to pull into this one and pay attention. And then sometimes it just they get overstimulated too, which that is a thing too. You can, you know. So anyways, I just don't see anything as being broken. I don't think these people are broken. They're it can be an interference too. There's so much with this interference thing, and I mean, I got to just think about what the fuck with fluoride. So yeah, they just go another step further, just keep cutting people away from their consciousness and cutting people away from the communication with all of your guidance. So but that's real. You really have communication all the time that you can talk to. And I think a lot of people just feel like, oh, that's just talking to myself. Well, that may be what it feels like for a while, you know. I mean, sometimes it feels like, yeah, am I just talking to myself? Am I just so crazy? I'm talking to myself about who the fuck is answering? Who the fuck is telling me this shit then? How do I know how to do things that I don't know how to do? It's like, no, there's somebody really talking. You got to start figuring out what part's you, what part's dark energy, what part's the higher mind, what part's relatives. It's you. You're the translator. You're the one in the communication. You're the one that's wired for you're like an antenna. And so you are like the operator who's got to know where to plug in, what to listen to and what not to listen to. So you are the one who needs to manage you. But there's so many people who are just lost in their mind. But it does trip me out when people are lost and they think they have no soul and stuff. It's like, what do you think powers you? Like, how do you live? Like, it's the weirdest thing to me. It totally trips me out. But the sad thing, though, because this guy, he's only mid-50s, and he just dropped suddenly of a heart condition, undocumented, unknown heart condition. And, yep, his mom also, she has one, but she got diagnosed, so she now has got that going. And I guess she just had some skin cancer situation that I know quite a few people getting stuff cut off. I just keep going at it with all natural stuff. Aloe vera, I see, makes a big difference. This thing is real dormant right now. But yesterday it was kind of being itchy, so I think there's something still there. But man, when I check my vision, there's something that's there, but it's not a black space anymore. It's like I can see here, but there's still like something. I don't know. But yeah, just like there's still something, and it gets itchy and stuff. And so now it's just, I'm just going to keep going at this stuff the same way I am going, just trying to do all natural stuff. I don't trust the people in charge here. I don't trust the chemicals. None of it. It's just, no, I'll just do this. And then see, there's people who would turn around and say, oh my God, she's so wacky. She wouldn't take any medical, and then she died. It's like, but see, I don't look at it that way. That would be stuff for your lessons that would go on beyond me. To me, I did everything that was manageable, but there's still, you're still an exit. There ain't nobody's been living forever so far. So that's going to be a big transition once we start living longer. But that is a big thing about tuning in to the energy you are. And like I said, that's when you become magical. You become the superhero. And And when people are dropping like flies and stuff, it's really sad, especially when they said, in 3 to 5 years, what the prognosis. I wish they'd hurry up with these med beds, man. All this death is hard, but also it makes such an impact on the different people and their healing. And this is all about this big healing, this big awakening. And so all these different people, just like with my brother, if he leaves, I'm going to look at it definitely as like he was a martyr for his family. He was the one who was leaving to impact everybody else. And they were all going to have to go through some deep healing. So, and I'm still hoping, though, that he's going to have a miraculous recovery, and his learning and lessons and all his family is about, well, there's going to be a lot, it depends on how it plays out. But I think mostly the universe and nature is wanting you to be aware of, they are there for you, and the other is not. So, but like I said, you can do all the nature and natural stuff. That's the sad thing too about him. What my daughter was saying was he had made all these life changes. He was living real healthy, and he was working hard on himself and all this stuff. And then it was like lights out, and a sudden boom. Like, like my son-in-law was just suddenly gone. And I don't know, I think I told you guys, because he had himself surrounded with a bunch of addicts and stuff. And addicts get themselves so cut off from reality. He was laying there having seizures for 12 hours and nobody was doing anything. So his wasn't exactly sudden. And then plus, then it showed also, when you take these people in, then they start saying they're brain dead, which then when you start going into the awakening, you start finding out, oh, that was just a little DX that they made up so that they could get some organ stuff going. Because the human trade situation on this world is the moneymaker, and and so they just want some parts. They just, if somebody's not in a full state of consciousness, well, they're gone. Their brain, it's like, well, what's going on with their soul? Let's look at that. Is their soul just waiting? Because we don't want to just pulling the plug and not giving their soul like the place to go home, because people can be in a coma for years and years and years and then come back. It's not like, so anyways, but they made up that diagnosis so that they could get people to surrender. And it's not just me being crazy saying that. I just saw a fucking nurse saying it the other day. And she said, once you start working as a nurse and you start seeing this bullshit with this fucking organ shit, she said, it's bullshit, man. She was pissed. And yeah, it is. But that's a part of, these people's awakening, seeing these things from the inside and start to questioning your ethics and your morals. It's like, this isn't okay. This isn't okay. And they're doing horrible shit, just like fucking like Dr. Frankensteining animals and then putting them down. It's like, that is cruel. Like, the cruelty that is going on, like, there's no getting away with your cruelty. It's gonna come back on you. It's the stuff you do comes back to you. So, I don't know, how this is going to go down. Is it the people who are doing all these horrible stuff, they're going to be the ones that are blowing up or blowing away or whatever the fuck is going to happen? I don't know how it's all going to go, but I know that energy's not going into Age of Aquarius. You got to cleanse that shit. And that's a lot of debt. That's a lot of, when you're going dark in this, and not caring about others, not caring about, when you've lost your humanity, then you're kind of lost in this game. But and it's weird. It's like, what is your game? What are you playing here? Like, how is it okay to do this? Like, don't you have a soul that's kicking your ass all night long for doing it? Like, what the fuck, man? And so, but it's all, to be played out. And I don't know, it's creepy as shit. But yeah, you have these people just doing this dark ass shit. But yeah, whatever you're putting out is gonna come back to you. It's just the way it goes. There's nothing you can do about that. There's no, God can't save you from that. No, nobody can. You can't save somebody from themselves. We see that on the micro, macro of the physical. You can't save somebody from themselves. They've got to save themselves. And that's just the way it is. Like, you can't go and put this stuff out and then think, well, it's my mom's fault. She can fix it. Nope. You're the fixer. You're the soul who has made the move, and it's up to you to move it the other way. And so, yeah, these people is, because there's going to be a lot of shit that's going to go down. You know, if this is going to be like the tribulation or whatever the hell, there's going to be more trauma that's going to keep going. We have more changes on the landscape ahead. We have a lot still going. And so, you know, the people who have been putting out, it's going to probably, a lot of them are going to have things flip back over on them, and they're going to, that energy is going to come back and whip them like a fucking dragon tail, man. It's going to whip their ass. But it's a part of their healing, because you can't get through the pearly gates into the new arena, into the new show, without, you know, cleaning your ticket. You can't just go from being shitty and then go in, because that's the capsulated, that's the firmament, that's this energy is held in here. And I think part of, you know, when you're healing and stuff, that part of the discomfort is because you're surrounded by so much of it. And but it's going to switch. There's going to be, you know, where it's going to turn the other way, where it's right now there's a lot of dark energy all around us, but then all of a sudden people's lights are going to come on, and all of a sudden it's going to switch, and it's going to feel so much better. It's going to feel so much better down here. But then it's going to have an abrupt kind of like Emperor's New Clothes moment, where all of a sudden there's going to be a lot of people who feel exposed. They're going to be hit hard with themselves, and then that's where it's going to go into a dip. It's going to go woo, and then it's going to dip, baby, dip. It's going to dip, and that's where it's going to be really hard. It's going to be very traumatic, and I don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, people who say about the tribulation say it's like 7 years, but I don't know. I would say probably more like 7 months, because we still have a lot of change to occur. Like, I think it is going to be like the firmament is being released, I think, and it is that these 3 atmospheres coming together, and it just opens up this whole new world around us, and the firmament is just kind of falling apart or something, and then the ice wall is going to like melt, and this whole other world is going to open up. It's going to be like a whole new world. It's a whole new world. It's going to open up, and it's coming. Like, that's coming. But like I've said, like, you've got to meet that energy. You got to be at that frequency, and that's why all this shit's going on, so that you can, because it works you up to that frequency. And it's like the stages of development, the ascension. It's like you have to cleanse yourself. It's like a baptism, only it's really letting go of shit. It's not just like Jesus said, oh, it's okay, just give it to me. No, it's you doing your own laundry. It's you letting go of all the shit you hold on to, because you just can't go into the higher vibration holding on to it. It's just not possible. So you have to let go of it. And once we get over there, though, it's going to be so much more freeing. People aren't going to be so petty and so manipulative and so toxic and so angry and so hateful. People are going to be a lot more, deal with their emotions differently. And so it's going to be a lot more comfortable, and people are going to have a lot better priorities, and it's going to make things a lot more peaceful. People aren't going to be having to work like slaves. And, you know, I mean, just think of the family dynamics, how much that's going to change when people have time to be home with their kids and money to go on adventures, to take them to go and learn and experience what it is to be alive. And then plus the wave of realization of being a soul is going to change so much, of like where people aren't going to be so lost. It's going to be, you know, way, way better. But we still have, you know, a lot of stuff to go through. But, and it just is so trippy, because there's people who are just really cut off, that really believe like, no, you just die and that's it. It's like, what a way to live. I mean, to me, and I'd ask, like, because I'm seeing what my mom's going through, and I'm hearing what other people have gone through, and all these different experiences of loss. And that one was a sudden one, which is like the other grandma, who was my son-in-law's mom. And so she had that sudden loss. They're there one minute and they're gone the next. And so that's what happened with this one. But she also doesn't believe in spirit. And even to the point where we've had a lot of talks about it, and she always, definitely they think I'm kooky. And in one conversation is like one of my granddaughters, that the son-in-law who died, because he had been diagnosed with schizophrenia. And so his daughter, when she was really little, she was talking about her past life to her mom. And she would talk about her other mom, and her other mom had killed her. She had stabbed her. And so my daughter was like, what the hell? And then she started talking to ghosts and stuff. She started talking to other people that nobody else could see. And so then my daughter became concerned, like, oh my gosh, maybe she has like schizophrenia. And so went to go have her tested and stuff. And then they came back and said, no, she's just gifted. Which, it's like, okay, I get, that's what I've been telling you guys. But that, some of us can hear, and it doesn't make you crazy. And so, anyways, I was at the graduation. This had just happened. It was one of my older daughter's graduation from university, so everybody was there. So I was talking to this sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law, about that, and her way of looking at it was so different than mine. And it's like, that is so trippy. How it's like the spirit world is so real. And it's like, how can people be so cut off from it? It's so trippy to me, and to be in such denial about it. But to me, it's like, when you have a loss, when you lose somebody and you have got nothing to believe in, like the pain that's got to be, like, because you don't have the thing. Well, I'll see him again. I'm going to see him soon. We come back together. We come back all the time together. We do stuff, this is just one picnic. And, but I don't know the experience, because mine is so different. I don't know the feeling of that kind of loss and stuff. And so it makes me feel sad. And I was thinking, the importance of everybody, you got to have something to believe in. Something. Like, like people like me, I can say what I believe, and then, I'll get told, well, that's not the truth. You can believe what you want, but that's false, because the Bible says. And to me, it's like, I don't give value to what the Bible says. I give value to what my heart says. So, and so, you got to find your own peace. You can believe something that seems real crazy to other people, especially, when some people think like, well, this is the parameters, this is the book, this is what you got to believe in. And you go outside of that, then yeah, people are going to look at you kooky, but still, you can find your own peace of mind. Like, and I, whatever your journey is to find your own peace, to me, is all I can value is like, your soul is real. The energy of you is real. You're not this body. This body is an illusion. This place is an illusion. But the lessons you get aren't an illusion. The lessons in the ability for the reflection to get to see yourself and understand yourself, that's all real. Those things are real. You take those with you. Those really expand you and stuff. This other stuff doesn't. It's like a waste, kind of. And but nothing's a waste, because you learn from everything, no matter what your perspective, no matter how tied you are into this reality. When you come out and you look at your life review and you see the error of your ways or whatever, but it's up to you. There's nobody there's nobody sitting there judging you, telling you. There's guides that are there with you, but you have guides all the time in life. And you go through things and they say things, but it's not out of judgment. It's like they just tell you other ways to look at it, kind of, other perspectives. They remind you of the things you're not looking at. So it just gives a depth to your experience. And so I know that at the life review, you have, these guides that are there with you. And some people feel the pressure that they have to go back and be rebirthed, I guess. And they don't. They've lost their free will or something. So I don't know, like that whole realm. Like there's something going on with that. But on the regular, you would just go to your life review and look at what you've done. Sometimes people have to go to this purgatory state, this state in between, like this other realm, this in between realm, because it's not in the higher vibration, because you've got to kind of let go of the experience and kind of cleanse from it so you can empower yourself again to zip around and have other experiences, because in the heavens you're just a soul, you're just the light. And so you go, to me, it's like it's like that you could throw that ring and create whatever world you wanted, and you just go into that world. And so there's a lot more magic. I don't know, but yeah, it's different levels of who you are, and different levels of experience, different levels of state of mind. And this is a very depth, dark state of mind. There's a little Archibald. And so, anyway, 5555. So, anyways, it's just, I don't know. All I can say is, yeah, I think you will find peace when you find what makes you peaceful, what makes sense to you about life and death. What is the purpose of being here? Because there is a purpose. It's not an accident. And I mean, to me, with the synchronicities and the way everything is so perfect, I think that I don't know how people can look at anything as like it's an accident. It's pretty damn perfect for being accidental, for being a mistake, or like there's no mistakes. The universe doesn't make mistakes. And so but still, that's got, people can look at that and go, well, that's what you believe. Well, the Bible says this, or, the Quran says that, or whatever. The Book of the Dead says this. And keep in mind, too, you've got real people out there doing spells. You got real people doing spells. It's another thing you want to watch out with. You want to get entangled in some of these energies and stuff. It's so important to find your sovereignty, find what you believe in. And then at some point, I think it is the power point of your throat chakra is to speak your truth, not hide who you are. Speak your truth. And it will be, those tests will come up in your life. There will be a conversation, and there'll be people talking or something. And you may want to say what you think, but then you hold back, like, oh no, I'll be judged or whatever. And so you don't say anything. Well, see, that was a part of your thing, to be able to look and see, why would I feel judged? Why do I feel like I don't have value? Like my opinion isn't as valuable as theirs. And so you got to go through your process. And so it's not like you did something wrong because you didn't do it the first time or whatever. And then maybe it's the next time. And then you go in and, people are speaking their truth, and you say what you believe, and it could go in any direction. You could get good, positive feedback, or you could get negative, but whatever you get is part of what you're there to receive. It's part of what you're there to cleanse from your own self. And so everything that happens is exactly like it's a scripted world, and it's all going to go exactly the way it's supposed to go. There's no, even the people who are doing horrible, nasty things, well, that's what they are always going to do, these horrible, nasty things. They were always going to build into this karmic debt, or however you want to look at it, because it's what they have to flip. And we don't know what all they've done in their past lives or what they've experienced. And so, I know you can spend all your time judging people, but it's not going to get you far. And the higher mind doesn't judge like that. There's no wrong or right or better than somebody else. It just is. It just is experience. It just is it's like the expansion of lessons. It's like it's just all it is. It's just like, oh, this is learning. This is experiencing. It's not like that you are good or bad, or you're going to hell or you're going to heaven. No, you're gonna go where your vibration takes you. You're gonna go where what vibration you're at. So you're gonna go, and just when you get into higher vibrations, you just have more of like you can just throw your ring out and go into wherever you want to go. And that is also, I think, is why as we're moving into this higher vibration, why we're going to be able to, our travel's going to change and stuff. I swear to God, we're going to start using portals differently, or we're going to start using our bodies differently. We're going to do that like Star Trek thing. I think we'll have hover cars too, and then these robot different things, you know, that we'll use and stuff. It's going to be cool, I think. I think we're going into a really space agey kind of free kind of time. And they keep on being like, Wall Street keeps crashing. It keeps crashing. Today I'm going to go to the grocery store. I just made some orders of some stuff. It's so weird because it'll seem like things are going stable, but it's going to crash. And yesterday, one of my daughters, because one of my granddaughters, she, the one whose dad had passed, you know, she's gone through some struggles and stuff since. And one thing is she's always been messy. She's always been messy ever since she was little. She wouldn't clean her room and stuff. And I was telling her, you got to clean your room. It'll make you feel better. And then I saw this feng shui thing, and it said that is super important for energy. You got to keep your space clean. And it just, the energy changes. And so I was trying to get her to see that. And so anyways, this whole thing came to, you know, she wants to decorate her room and clean it up and all this stuff. And so I said I would buy her some decorations. So we were working that out yesterday. And then I was like, well, I should get the other one some too. So she wanted a little bit of money so she could get some stuff. And then I have another one with a birthday today and stuff. So anyways, what was I going to say? I have no idea why I was saying that. Wait a minute. So, the money, dang it, what was I going to say? I have no idea. There was a reason why I started telling that story, and then I go and start telling all these details, and it's like I get lost in this. I have no idea. Maybe I'll know in a second. But, and I ordered oh yeah, okay, now I remember. And I ordered some clothes for myself and stuff. The only thing I have left to pay is Archibald. And the weird thing is I went on to look for the emails and stuff. I can't find any. It's like, what the hell is going on? How did that whole thing disappear? So that's the only thing I have left that I owe. But, so I indulged and bought myself some stuff out of this check. And so I was giving that money, and my one daughter, she's like, no, don't give any money. No, that's fine. Use it so you can save up for whatever it is that, you know, so you can save up to get a place or whatever. And it's just so funny because that is the thing in this 3D world, this expectation. Well, this is how you got to do it. You need to save up. You need to do this. You need to do that. And in my perception, I'm watching like, this is the worst time to buy. This is the worst, you know, because it's all about to crash. And I don't even know how many people can even get loans right now. But it would be a part of their lessons, a part of their loss, a part of whatever. But a part of their experience. But when you have awareness of it, you're not going to jump into any experience. You're going to be a lot more aware of what you're choosing your experience. And so I know that the banks are crashing. I know we're going into the golden era. I know we're going on the gold standard. I know things are going to go cheap. I know land and everything is going to be changing. And so to me, I know we're in this big period of change. And so I don't feel the same of like, well, I gotta save this, gotta save that, even though, you know, I'm gonna save money towards it. Like, I'll do the 3D thing, but also I'm not gonna like go without the things that I feel like I need or whatever. And when it comes to want, you know, a need, everybody's got their own, it's your caliber, it's your ruler. You're the one who's got to figure out your own balance. And there's lessons behind either thing you do. And you can't be guaranteed what your lessons are. You got to experience them. So you got to follow your own intuition, your own guidance. And so anyways, but to me, everything is close to the crash. And that is, where also, since I've been more preparing for the crash, I'll be more ready to take the next step. So to me, it's like going the way it's supposed to go. But it's just weird because then it's like, no, don't do that. Um, just save up for this. I was like, see how the three-dimensional trap to existence is? It's like, no, we need to be in a free flow and like giving to ourselves, giving to others. And that is the important thing too. When I said, if there's something that you want, then you need to give it. You need to be freely giving it. If it's love, if it's, shelter, if it's, what is that? Security. The things that you want is what you have to be putting it out, and it'll come back to you. And so in the free flow of life, you want to be, yeah, I'm going to give to you, I'm going to give to you, and it all is going to come back and stuff. But we stop the natural flow of things to try and do what's right, to do, well, you got to do this, you got to save, you got to work hard, you got to do, and all that stuff. But really, we got to break that program. And it's just been a part of my learning, is so much about the flow of life. It's like we entered the ride had its own set flight plan. We got to learn how to relax. Even when the ride is taking us and shaking and turbulent and crazy, we've got to learn how to relax and know that the ride's going. We don't need to force it. We don't need to hold on to things. We don't need to try and pull it. We don't need to try and control what's ahead. We just got to go with the flow of the river. And so to me, my perspective on it is just different. But it is weird because then you get people, like if I say, oh, well, I'm not saving anything, I'll be fine. Then people look at you like, what in the wackadoo shit are you talking about? You're living in a garage in a tent. Get your shit together. Start saving up. Where are you going? What are you going to do? It's like, well, I don't really know. It's just like the universe hasn't shown me yet. Okay, wackadoo. Like, get your shit together. It's just like, it's so, so different of an experience. But yeah, I'm way more in the, I would live that way, get made fun of, but now it's just kind of like, oh, okay, well, no, this is, the universe has a plan. I'm just in the interim. I'm in the transition to see where I'm going and when I'm going to get there and what's ahead. I know it's going to be good things. I know it's going to be a place that I am excited about. I know it's going to be bringing me joy and peace and stuff. So it's up ahead. I just don't know when, and all the lessons here, the things I'm here to learn. And, no, I don't know. I mean, my mom could get there and he could be like really doing bad. It could be like, well, he's really about to pass. She may end up having to stay until, but, when somebody is getting treatments and stuff like that, I was like, what are you talking about? I'm going to go and live there now for 6 months or a year, sell my, well, she couldn't be able to sell us. Like, I don't, like, oh my God, it would take her several trucks, man. So crazy. I could fit my shit in a wagon train now. She would need several big rigs to come and take her shit. So, no, it's like, it just seems crazy. Well, at some point too, there's a lot of, when you're really on the move, there's a lot of things you let go of, you lighten the load. But she's been living here a long ass time. And it's just it's so crazy too, because the communication, or the conversations and the roles, and seeing these different things in a bigger way, and the pressure that was put on her, even what I talked about before when my stepdad left, and she's in this more, it wasn't as built up and stuff, and people wanted her to just leave and stuff. So she was talking about that the other day even. And, look what my life would have been if I would have done that. Like, it was all so controlled and stuff. And she gets to live free. She gets to be, create her own life. And that's what we're all here to do, is create our own life, create our own existence, to experience ourselves. So, and what was it? Oh, yeah, I was watching this movie yesterday. And it was this kind of ghost thriller kind of thing. I still don't know. I don't know if he was possessed or crazy. I'm not sure. But there was definitely a couple of things in the movie where I was like, boy, they just slipped this shit in everywhere. Well, every movie is, either a biracial or a gay couple. Like, you can't, I don't even think you can make a movie if you don't put that in there anymore. And then, but he said something, oh, what was it? Because it was so backward of what it should be. Just like the same thing of work smarter, not harder. It's like, no, you need to work harder or get lazy and stupid. Which is different than the go work for the man. And if you want to get ahead, no, I'm talking about you and your own skills and your own development. Work on you. Don't cut corners and have somebody else carry the weight, or you're going to you're going to find the holes in you. And so, but he said it was something about something with spiritual or something. I can't remember. I'll remember as soon as I stop. That's the way it goes. I can't remember, but it was definitely like, there was a couple of different things where I was like, I swear to God, it doesn't matter what you watch. It's like that they have access to the story. Well, you got to put this in there. You got to say it this way. You got to say it that way. Maybe they just hand out a format now. If you're a screenwriter, you got to put these things in there. I don't know. But it was definitely something where I was like, oh my God, if people believe this shit, it's so misleading. And that's what all their programming is all about. It's so misleading, it's so misdirecting, and it has such a lasso. Like, people just jump on just to be a good person. Well, that's what a good person does. It's like, well, who's a good person? You know, find me one. Because everybody else is just pretending to be one, because it's impossible. You're good and bad. And a lot of people are way out of balance, and they've got a lot more bad than they want to have, but they are hidden from it. They are veiled from it. They don't pay attention to it. They don't want to see it because they're so busy blaming everybody else for how they feel. So there's a big switch. There's a big switch that's going to be swung. Big flip that's going to happen. So anyways, okay, so let's look at the hair thing. I did just buy, it was still on sale, so I bought 2 more. It says on the thing, buy 2, get 1 for half price, but I don't know if it did that. Sometimes I think it's just a scam and shit. But anyways, we'll see how it goes over, because now I got enough for 2 more months. But I'm pretty sure if something does that, you gotta stay taking it until we get in these med beds and our vibrations raised. And that we can, I don't know, once our vibrations raised, I don't know. I don't think, I don't even know if we have to eat anymore. I don't know. I just know that the med beds change our vibration, and we are in a very low, dense, sick vibration, and we're going to go up to a higher, and then the more that we detach from this physical arena, the more that we find our own superpowers, because when we start focusing on the energy that we really are. Like, I bet you that we could see my aura. Right now, though, we see my shadow. But I bet we could see my aura. I keep seeing like a light right there. But I don't know. But that is when you can see someone's aura. You gotta have them up like against a gray kind of wall, and then you can see the color out around them. And I don't know, mine could be way out here. So, but you can see the color of them around. It was really cool that one day at that comedy show that I was at, and the guy was up there, and the way the light was, I could see his aura around his whole self, and the way he moved, and it was really cool looking. And so it has something to do with being able to get the lighting just right so that you can see. But these kind of backgrounds helps you to be able to see the color. But you know, it can also have to do with these lights. I think you got to be kind of like a little bit not with the influence of other lighting and stuff. Like, maybe if I turn this off, then it may be too dark, and then this light could influence it, or that light, or that light. So anyways, but that's how you see someone's aura, is with this kind of background, and then the light's got to be just right. And it is very cool because you can see, like, it's like the person, it's not like the person looks bigger. It's like that they have this big shadow around them that is moving with them, and it's much bigger, and it is more, you know, it's more fluid. It's not as stiff. Like, we're kind of like stiff, and the energy is more fluid, like. So anyways, let's have a gander at my tooth too. So, and today I'm gonna go shopping and get groceries, go get my supplies and stuff. And then this weekend I'll be taking her, and then like I said, I don't know, maybe she will. Like if he's really doing poorly, maybe like, well, I can't leave. I gotta stay here to the end. That could happen. I mean, we don't know. We've already talked about it. Like we don't know. But we being here, not being there, we are like, well, you know, he can live a lot longer. He's getting this treatment, and hopefully this treatment's going to start working, and he could go another year or two, and then just get us to the med beds, baby. Just get us the med beds, and all these people's sicknesses are going to go away. So we're going to go from a sick society to a healthy, happy society. But then the people are going to have to face the darkness inside and all their lessons and all that. So it's going to be intense still. So anyways, just remember, I'm telling you, just get with the program and just start working on yourself and learning how to love yourself. And because when you can learn how to love yourself, then you just like, you let go of like the judgment and stuff. Because where is it going to get you? It's going to just hold you back. And it's so crazy how people, like there's so many people who are so mad at their parents. And it's like you're holding on to a version of your parent that was a very specific time. They have grown and you are stuck. And you keep yourself stuck there until you let go, because your parent isn't still that. And if they are, then, you know, they've got their own growth to do. Don't take it so personally, because everybody's got a lot of growth to do. And we're all here to help each other. So even sometimes you to be the kid to go in and grow is going to ripple out in every direction. So it can go backwards, and it can motivate somebody else to find their best self, to find their peace. And then, you know, you are a lot more efficient at the things you say to people when you do find your peace, and you do find, so you can give other people guidance. Like when somebody says something, and you know, the old 3D self of you would have been like, well, yeah, let's this and that. But then all of a sudden the healed version of you, they say that, and it's like, oh, you can look at it this way, you can look at it, like it changes it. And so then that becomes a conversation. So then that becomes an opening to a door inside of somebody. So then they start going in like, yeah, I don't have to do that. Yeah, I can. Yeah, so they start figuring out like, yeah, it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to tell someone no. It's okay to have people hate you. It doesn't, you know, that's their business. It's their stuff. You can let go of so many things. You know, so anyways, you know, in learning how to love yourself, I'm telling you, falling in love with yourself is a lot more, it's a lot more peaceful. I sometimes going out and falling in love with different people, and you think like, this is my answer, you know, this is going to make me so happy. And you get together with them, because there's kind of a trend now too going on. Like, and I don't even know like if these photos are for real, or if they're just going in and finding photos of people that look like them that are more haggard or something. But they're like, all these people kept telling me to go get in a relationship, and they're like, this is what I look like before, and this is what I look like in a relationship. And then they show the picture, and it's just like, wow, they're way fatter, their hair is shit, like people are just a raggedy ass. Well, that's the kind of relationship pool we've had for a long time, what we've accepted, and people go raggedy ass. And then when they find and they build themselves back up, it's like, well, do I want to do that again? No, you don't. You want to learn how to love yourself. And then when you learn how to love yourself, you're going to attract that same kind of love to you. So it's not going to be the battleground to love. It's going to be a peaceful, you know, let's have a picnic kind of, you know, it's going to be a peaceful transition from when you learn to love yourself into other people loving you. Because for one thing, you can accept it. So many people sabotage love too. So many people sabotage themselves. And so there's just a lot of different things to heal. But I'm telling you, it all starts with learning how to love yourself. And it leads to learning how to love everybody. And then it ends where learning how to have the day you want. So anyways, or you can put them out of order. However, it's not a set thing. You can do what you want. But we'll talk about it again tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.